This is Mitch, and welcome to the 1000houses.com podcast. I'm here with Brady Morgan, and we're going to be talking about virtual assistants and how they can help you grow your business. And the reason why we're talking to Brady about it is because they help supply companies with virtual assistants from overseas. And I don't know, are they all overseas, Brady, or just some of them?
All overseas.
All
Yep. All
overseas. Great.
overseas.
I have about six virtual assistants. I think most of them are from overseas. It's kind of a really neat dynamic because of the value of the dollar to the what is that the peso
Philippine peso.
over in the
Yep.
Philippines. Yeah, and so I can get someone doing a heck of a lot of work with me for me, a guy with a brain for very what do you say, affordable price, more than affordable,
Yeah.
sometimes stupid. Depends on if you want people to speak English and have contact with your customer, or if they just need to do menial data entry, which, my experience is that data entry is like $3 to $4 an hour, and
Roughly. Yeah. And again, you're gonna find people of all skill sets. Location matters too, but the wide range of things, as we say, anywhere from $4 to $8 an hour is kind of what you can pinpoint for paying a VA hourly.
yeah, and I have some pretty dang good ones. I just know that when we wanted someone to actually have a really good command of the English language, we had to pay a little bit more, and we also weren't afraid to pay a little bit more because we just didn't want them. We want people to be around for a long time,
Yep.
and if they're good, and they're a bargain. If they're good, they're a bargain because of the exchange rate. So it's
Well,
good.
the thing too, I mean, you got to think about it, right? I put that high into $8 an hour. I mean, you're not going to find that in the U.S. And I'm not trying to take jobs away from the U.S. or whatnot, but you have business owners who they just need shit to get done, and if they can do it in the most affordable way possible, especially with the culture over there, loyalty. They're willing to do stuff that other people won't be able to do, especially for the cost. I mean, why not?
Yeah, they don't see you for workman's comp and all that crap either. You know what I mean? So,
Very
you
true.
can people can get all butthurt about uh, taking jobs out of the economy and everything, but just try to navigate this damn thing over here. There's people doing all kinds of unscrupulous shit. Back in the old West, they just put you on a horse and put a noose around your neck and just hang you.
Yeah.
That's what they do. I'm from Texas,
Yeah.
Brady.
There you go.
Okay, I'm from Texas. Just shoot them or hang them. If they deserve it. Um, so, anyways, uh, that's one of the reasons why we do it too. It's like, the day I want to let them go, I let them go. There's no repercussion for me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Am I going to treat them fair? Yeah, I'm going to treat them fair. That's me. If I've been treated fair, I will. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I love my VAs. As a matter of fact, I've kind of grown attached to them. I've actually adopted them. You know what I mean? So, uh, I don't know. Maybe one of these days I'll get stranded on the other side of the world and someone will help me. You know?
Yeah.
you know so you're in Nashville, right?
Nashville, Tennessee, born and raised.
Okay, so how do you get into this business? How does this path go from zero to the VA business?
Yeah. Now, it's interesting, Mitch. I have a background in finance, and I got into this whole entrepreneurial world of networking and whatnot through a podcast. Much like this, I was interviewing people of all shapes and sizes. The highest I ever went was I got to interview the first CEO of Netflix. That was really cool. But in the midst of all that, COVID happened. Having a background in finance, I was working at Vanderbilt as a financial analyst. I was like, I'm doing this podcast. I really like talking to people. Finance is boring. Sitting at a desk all day. I'm going to move to sales. So I'm trying to move to a sales job. I quit my finance job prematurely. Sales job is no longer hiring because of COVID. So I'm unemployed. I have a podcast, and I'm like, all right, well, now's the time to start my own business. I've always wanted to start my own business, but now is the time because, I don't have anything else to do. So I started a business around finance, kind of being a fractional CFO, if you will. I've worked in investment banking. I understand all the numbers behind stuff, but it just didn't work out. I didn't know what I was doing. As first business, you don't know what you don't know. But in the midst of this business, I wouldn't call it a complete failure because I learned about the VA model. We had some friends that were working at me and my business partner that were working at the mastermind we actually met at, and they placed VAs. They're like, hey, yeah, let's get you a VA. It works well. You can kind of help him take tasks off your plate. So we did it, not really knowing what it was going to turn into. First one we got was terrible. And then we got another one that was a lot better. And I was like, I think there's a way to make this whole model better, but we don't do this. We do finance. We do finance stuff. Well, long story short, we shut the finance business down. That mastermind with the guys who were already running a VA business, that shut down. We're like, all right, let's all come together and start a VA business. So we did. Very slow at first because, again, I don't know what I'm doing. I was immediately tagged as a CEO, still learning. But then as you go, with anything, the more you do it, the better you get at it. And here we are today. I've worked with a lot of really cool companies, global top 10 companies that some I can't name. We've worked with people who do marketing for Rihanna and Taylor Swift. We worked with a lot of different really cool people, and that's allowed us to grow into the shared service center side, which is a lot more corporate, where we are working with bigger corporations, a lot bigger contracts. And again, I kind of got thrown into this. But I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. It's kind of weird going from finance to staffing and recruiting. At the end of the day, it's all business, but two completely different sectors and industries. But here we are. We're doing a lot of cool things, placing virtual assistants from the Philippines exclusively. And it's been good.
So a lot of chaos.
Yep.
And how long you been doing this?
Over a year. Yeah, about almost a year and a half now. So, or a year and a quarter. So
You made a lot of headway in a year and a quarter.
yeah, no, we have made a lot of headway. And I think too, it's crazy. I had that podcast, right? And when we first started, it was, okay, let's just reach out to podcast guests. Like, I know they have money. I know that any business owner can use, any vertical in the industry can use virtual assistants. It doesn't matter. So let's just start reaching out to people. What's the worst they're going to say is no. So those have bloomed into partnerships, bloomed into repeat business. And with business in general, right? I think a lot of people, they don't put as much effort into generating repeat business and referrals. And they think, okay, I just got to run ads. I just got to do organic outbound through email or cold calling. And like that works, right? It does. But for me, it's very relationship based, because what we do, you can get anywhere. You can go to My Outdesk, you can go to Upwork, you can get this stuff other places. It's that trust factor of, hey, I've talked to you, you've talked to me. I know what I'm doing. I know exactly what you do and what you need. Let me help you staff your virtual team. So we made a lot of headway, very thankful for it. A lot of long nights, a lot of early mornings, talking to people, hearing no, but I mean, it's the nature of the game.
Okay. So, I think, the niche that I reach, so probably, who's listening to this is probably a creative real estate investor, or they want to be a creative real estate investor. Mm-hmm. They might be entrepreneurial. So the 4 people that I interview will be, first and foremost, creative real estate investors. Second, entrepreneurs. Third, motivational. Fourth, inspirational. So if it fits any of those 4 things, someone could be listening. By and large, it's real estate investor, entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. So there's, like you said, there is not a business that can't use a VA. Like,
exactly.
I thought I've gotten so good at delegating that, like, I don't want to do anything now. Like, someone order me concert tickets for this thing. You know what I mean? Like, I just did that the other day. Like, will you order me? I need 2 really good tickets. Tell me the best tickets. You can call me when you get the thing up and tell me and order me some tickets.
Yeah.
I don't want to do anything anymore. Because I guess at some level, either I don't like it or I don't need to do it anymore. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I have, like I said, about 6 VAs. They are very loyal. At least I found the ones from the Philippines to be very loyal. But you've got to get up off the bottom a little bit. Like, if you're just going to pay the minimum, so the next time they get a 50-cent raise from some other place or offer, or they have to double dip behind your back, you know what I'm saying? So that can be an issue. But tell me about the exchange rate. I'm under the understanding that, like, $8 an hour in the Philippines, like $60,000 a year in the United States. Is that about the right equivalent?
Well, think about it from this perspective, right? I mean, it takes you got to make 20,000 US dollars in the Philippines to be a millionaire in the Philippines. You got people
20,000?
because the exchange rate, you got people who are retiring in the Philippines, living there for 10 years on 100 grand total. They have 100 grand total and they're retiring there for 10 years. Here in the US, you better at least have 100 grand in retirement to live, depending upon where you live, of course. But the exchange rate, it's incredible. It's crazy. You got college graduates coming out and they want $3 an hour, whereas here in the US, college graduates want 50 or 60 grand, a year. So the minimum wage that the government mandates, I think it's like $1.73 or $1.76 in the Philippines. That's what you're going to get no matter what. Now that could be any sort of job, etc. That's the average. But we say this, and because you mentioned it very clearly, you have to pay your VAs what they're worth. The time that you're paying somebody $4 an hour and somebody offers them $4.50, why would they not leave? They're getting paid more money. 50 cents to us is what? Nothing really. Over the course of 50 cents over the course of a 40-hour week is $20. So you have to think about it in terms of, are you willing to lose that? Or are you willing to give them a raise, a bonus? Even implementing benefits helps. Any way that you can keep them loyal and you have direct control over the payments, what you give them benefit wise, et cetera. So, the exchange rate's crazy, but since the exchange rate is so crazy, that's why I don't understand how people lose VAs from a loyalty perspective, because they don't pay them enough. Because it's affordable for us. You know what I mean? You're in, I believe you're in Texas right now. I'm in Nashville. Nashville is a growing city. It's expensive to live in now. You have the money to spend to employ multiple VAs. So why not pay them what they're worth?
Yeah. If your business is going to fall apart over the $1 or $2 to your VA, then get another business or find something for your VA to do that'll make you $5 more than he's making. You know
exactly.
what I mean? I saw this list one time. I wish I had it. We could put it up, although it was from someone else. It was 100 things a VA can do for you, and I started reading through that list and it's like, holy cow, I wouldn't have thought of half of these things. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I saw it, because I started getting my VA, there's no reason for them not to be busy. If they're not doing one thing, they're doing another thing. And any one of them could make, in the house business could make you 20 grand tomorrow, so pick things that might make you 20 grand, because that's a whole lifetime of VA.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's say I want a VA to help me, and I get a hold of you. And by the way, Brady Morgan's contact information, just go over to 1000houses.com/VA today. Okay, VA today, go over there. He'll have his website, he'll have his contact information, he'll have anything that we need to have over there so that you can get in contact with him. So that's 1000houses.com/VA today or today. So I want, I need someone. I call you. What happens?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So you would more than likely hop on a call with one of my sales guys. They're going to kind of walk through exactly what you need. We have 4 areas that we primarily source from. Lead generation. This is on the virtual assistant side, right? If we're going to get more corporate of saying, hey, we're going to build out a whole team of finance and accounting or IT specialists, that's a different story. But let's stick with the virtual assistant staffing agency. The 4 things that we mainly place around, you got lead generation, which could be cold calling, organic lead gen through social channels, cold email, etc. Content creation, which could be video editing and graphic design. You got social media management, and then you got administrative assistance, which is any back-end stuff, calendar management, email management, bookkeeping, etc. We're going to figure out exactly what you need. Now, the way our model differs from these other companies is we charge a placement fee up front. We charge 0 recurring fees. We have a placement fee of $1,500 up front for one, and each VA that you get after that, it gets cheaper per head. Now, we only charge a down payment up front, though, because we're not going to charge the whole entire thing until our entire process is done and we've succeeded. So once we get started, we're going to get a invoice paid, of course, and then you have a VA order form. This is how clients communicate directly with our fulfillment team. Fulfillment team is made up of VAs, and you're basically going to say, hey, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Here's my hourly rate budget. Here's the schedule I want them to work. Here's software experience they need, etc. My team takes that. We have a database of about 12 to 15,000 VAs already vetted, ready to go. It's essentially at that point just utilizing our grading system that we have internally. We're grading on character, English levels, etc. We're picking out the best 5 to 7. We're confirming availability. We're sending those profiles to the clients. And we're saying, hey, you have a few options, Mitch. You can either interview one or hire one right off the bat, or you can do a panel interview and kind of get a better vibe of who you potentially are going to be working with and make a more educated decision. Now, that whole process of you doing the panel from filling the VA order form to the panel interview, et cetera, is 5 to 10 business days. It's not longer than 10 business days. It's pretty quick. It's really quick turnaround. Now, once we place that person in your business, before that, you get access to a client training, talking about onboarding, motivating, managing a VA software that we suggest, best practices, et cetera. We place them in your business. We hold your hand and help you onboard them. And then we remove ourselves from the equation, because our whole philosophy is this: business owners come to us because they need help. They have a certain thing in their business that they want to get off their plate. They're busy as all get out. They need more time. They're not making enough money because they can't focus on revenue generating activities. They're coming to us for a problem. I am not going to create more to that problem by inserting myself in the relationship with them and their virtual assistant. So we place that VA directly under our clients. That VA works for that client, not us. They work for that client. We don't charge some sort of spread on the hourly rate. We charge one placement fee up front. We offer a free 45-day replacement that's included in that placement fee. And then we're good to go. And that's why we have people who are coming back to us for repeat business, is because they like the model of having the control to do what they want to do when they want to do it. And it's only one payment, and that's it.
I like that. That sounds good to me. So I want to, I have a product that I want to push out. It's a software, and I want them to go to the chat rooms, to the Facebook clubs, to the LinkedIn, wherever, where these people congregate. And I want them to post certain things over and over and over again for certain industry. I'd have the software I have can work for a lot of different industries, but the advertisement I would have would be for a certain industry. And I just need people to post. They don't have to even talk to anybody ever, because once we get a lead, it'll go over to the English side and come to the States.
Right.
And someone will talk to them there. You guys help in that kind of product?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would consider that some sort of lead generation capacity, right? Just someone that is getting your name, your product, your service out there in a predictable way. And the thing about it is, if you think about what a person in this position would be able to do for you and what they would cost, it's a no-brainer, right? You're looking at someone that's $4 or $5 an hour, able to repeatedly do this day in and day out and generate business for you. And you're going to make more, right? Because I'm sure your product or service is more expensive than what you'd be paying these people. So 100% can help with that.
So this is a question I've had about the Philippine VAs. Are they commission motivated or more salary motivated? Because what I like to do is pay upon success, but I'm not sure that their culture is all about that.
No, it's a great question. And we get that a lot for people who want to pay strictly commission. And I say this: strictly commission doesn't work in the Philippines, because the thing about it is, if you understand their culture, it's a lot different than the US. They live with their extended families. They're responsible for paying tuition for their siblings. So they need that steady, predictable income coming in the door. So you have to pay them some sort of hourly rate. Now, if you want to pay them some sort of commission on top of that, that's great, but it's not required. And I think at the end of the day, they just want a steady paycheck. They want a job. They want to make money. But of course, they have to perform for that, right? You don't want to pay them to not do any sort of good performance. So we all know from human psychology, commission does entice people to work harder. We have prospectors ourselves that we pay a commission for every call they book and every closing they get. So, but we pay them an hourly rate that's predictable, that they get the same payment, same salary payment every single Friday. So my biggest thing is, don't expect a VA to work very long for you if you're paying them strictly commission. And that's really anywhere. I think, people are, especially smaller entrepreneurs, are saying, oh, I'm going to hire a bunch of sales guys in the US and only pay them commission. Well, they're not going to last very long, because they're only getting paid off performance, and they're probably young guys. They don't know what they're doing. The guys, you are going to get the best people you can get when you can actually pay them a predictable salary. And when you're tacking on commission on top of that, you have that human psychology factor where they're going to work harder for that money. So,
okay. So, even if, well, now you answered the question. So I think every real estate investor out there should start off very quickly. As soon as they have their first hit on a $20,000 property or $15,000 property or whatever, as soon as they get up a little bit, first thing they should do is hire a personal assistant. First thing.
Agreed.
There is some argument Like, do I need someone to be in my town and be on the ground? Man, if you're trying to hire a personal assistant in the United States, if you're not paying like right, I just saw a sign on McDonald's marquee 3 days ago, $18 an hour hiring at McDonald's in downtown San Antonio. Bill Miller's barbecue place advertising $17 an hour. Just come in off the street and get 17. So if you're not willing to pay someone, I need someone who can think a little bit more than that. You know what I mean? So I got to pay 2022, you know what I mean? At least. Or I can, and starting off, I never would have been able to afford that. You know what I mean? And then there's the question of, are they subcontractors or are they payroll? And then you got to pay FICA and Social Security and all that. And then unemployment if you fire them and all that. So that might get kind of heavy. So I would revert back to hiring a Filipino overseas VA and figuring out what they could do for me. They wouldn't be able to, like, they couldn't put up plastic signs for me, but maybe I'll have to sub that job out separately, or he can be in charge of finding someone to sub that out too. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he's not going to be able to do it because he's, of course, in the Philippines. But I think every real estate entrepreneur in the world needs one. I mean, if nothing, because they're not that expensive, you know?
Well, they're not. And, we have a client that owns a big mortgage business in Canada, and he has a personal assistant that used to be an executive assistant to a president of some other mortgage company. So I think she's $4 or $5 an hour. And what she's able to do with him in regards to email management, calendar management, client follow-up, employee follow-up, the stuff that has to be done, but you don't necessarily have the time to do it. It's crazy. And I think too, to think about it from this perspective of, you got McDonald's. I mean, Tennessee, I know down the road, Chick-fil-A is hiring 14-year-olds for $15 an hour, right? You got people with MBAs making $15 an hour. You got people who are saying, okay, so that means if I want to hire a personal assistant, I'm probably going to need to pay a little bit more hourly, 2022, but now I can only afford one. So I can tell you this, if you go with an overseas staffing company and you get a virtual assistant, you could probably get a few people to do a few different things for you, take a lot of stuff off your plate. And now you're happier, you're less busy, and you're getting your stuff done more efficiently. And to be honest, these people that are only $5, $6, $7 an hour, very high caliber. And they're probably going to do a lot better work than people in the United States. And again, I'm not taking jobs away from America, but you have people who don't want to work. And we know that.
You pay $15 an hour or $14 an hour right now, and you're getting the dumbest guy in the planet. You pay $8 an hour in the Philippines, and you're getting someone who managed a hospital floor.
Exactly. You're getting people who are like, yeah, I used to be the director of operations for an airport, and I'm $7 an hour. It's like, okay, here in the US, that someone's going to ask for at least six figures. You know what I mean? So I think the fact of the matter is the talent you can find over there. I think people shy away from it because one, they're not educated on it. They don't know it exists. And two, they don't know how to find it. So once they know it exists, they like, I don't know where to even look. So I'm not even going to bother with it. I'm going to go ZipRecruiter, Indeed, and just find someone in the States. But it's the cost efficiency perspective, right? You have 6 virtual assistants. Let's assume all those 6 people were domestic. It becomes a lot more expensive from a payroll perspective very, very quickly. So we practice what we preach. We have 6 virtual assistants as well. We have other contractors we work with. And it's pennies on the dollar at that point, and we're getting a lot of really good work done.
All right, man. So again, go to 1000houses.com/VA today and hook up with Brady and his company or one of his salespeople there. There'll be everything you need to know over there about what to do. Also, be thinking yourself in your daily travels. Like about I did this exercise with some of my students one time. I said, every hour, set your alarm to go off every hour. The alarm would go off every hour. Now ask yourself in the last hour, what have you been doing? And could a VA have helped me do this?
Yep.
And you'll find that a lot of it is yes. And the amount of it that's yes is overwhelming. And you think, man, I would have freed up my whole day for $64, $8 an hour times 8. I'd have freed up my whole damn day for $64. I could have got to the big deal. But I couldn't even get there because I was sitting there doing this bullshit.
Well, I think about it too. I think people, they're so worried about, their overall net worth, right? I think you take it a step down and you say, what's the net worth of your hour? What are you worth hourly? Is it $500 an hour? Is it $50 an hour? Is it $1 million? Whatever. What are you worth per hour? And I think once you put it in terms of that, at the end of the day, you're reflecting, okay, how many hours did I spend on doing stuff that could be delegated for $5-6 an hour? Okay, I spent 3 hours doing something that could be delegated to someone for $6 an hour. That would have taken me $18. And what am I worth hourly? Let's say I'm just worth $50 an hour. Like, let's just make it easy. Okay, so I could have made $150 over those 3 hours, but instead I didn't, because I didn't delegate, and I essentially lost $150 because of that. So when you start to put in that perspective of, just like you're saying, reflect every hour, okay, what am I doing that I don't need to be doing anymore? And I think what you have to understand is you're the CEO of your own life, and you should be able to dictate how your days go. When you're not delegating, you have a lot less control. Somebody has to do this admin menial work, this daily repeatable task. Somebody has to do it. The only question is it going to be you, or are you going to delegate it?
Yeah. And the other question is, do you even like doing that? Because if you're doing something you don't like, that's a miserable existence. So stop doing it. I used to try to do my books. It's like, why am I doing this? I'm not any good at it. I hate it. I don't get it. And there's 1,000 bookkeepers out there. What am I doing?
Exactly.
Books. Can you do books from the Philippines?
Yeah, we have an accountant that does all of our bookkeeping for us. She does all of our P&L reports, all of our expense reports. She does payroll. She does everything. And we utilize a project management tool called Monday for all of that. We don't use QuickBooks, but she's great. She's $4 an hour. She's actually helping us talk with an attorney in the Philippines right now about Filipino incorporation, because we're getting to the process of offering benefits and whatnot. And she's heading that project. And the thing about it is, if I were to try to pay someone in the US to do that, it'd be a lot more expensive, and they probably wouldn't know what they were doing. She's in the Philippines. She's boots on the ground, and it's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. All right. Again, 1000houses.com/VA today. Please get over there, get hooked up with Brady or some of his people, and learn how VAs can help you. Just call them and have a conversation. Talk to them about what you're doing. So let them plug in to give you some ideas how they might help if you don't really know. But believe me, if you have any kind of business at all and you're out there moving and shaking, don't work below your pay grade, which is what Brady was saying. If you're worth $50 an hour, then you got to sub out everything that's not worth $50 an hour, or that you could get done for less than $50 an hour. So
exactly.
All right, my friend, anything you want to say before maybe we wrap up right now?
No, I mean, yeah, guys, check over on our website, vastaffing.agency. I'm sure Mitch will put in the notes, and book a call. We'd love to talk to you. We help any vertical. We can help with any position. But you got to have that conversation and see what's possible. And I think for people out there that are skeptical about it, I say just have a conversation, because you don't know what's possible until you try it. And Mitch is a big advocate for it. I'm a huge advocate for it, obviously. And a lot of other major companies utilize the same things, and they remove a lot of things off their plates as a result.
Well, as for example, when we get done with this and I push the stop recording button, this is going to go straight to a VA in the Philippines.
Yep.
And they're going to do what they need to do so this thing gets aired, in the next few days. And it's out of my control. They're already trained. They already know what to do. And that's exactly what's going to happen when we finish. The minute we finish, it's going to go there. So, all right, my friends, this is Mitch Stephen with the 1000houses.com podcast. I've been talking with Brady Morgan. I want you to go to 1000houses.com/VA today. VA today, and go check out the website and get in contact with Brady and his people. Let the VA start helping you. It's all about doing less and making more. And this is a perfect cog in that wheel. Perfect cog. Believe
Absolutely.
me, the trade between the deficit between the exchange rates is in our favor, and it works for both people. And by no means, don't feel bad for the Filipinos. $8 there an hour. They also, people that make $8 an hour there have maids, okay? Because of the way the system works there. The people, the maid's working for $2 an hour. You know what I mean? So it all works out. Everybody wins. You may not think $8 is an hour. You might feel like that's subjugating someone or something, or slave labor. It doesn't work out that way. On the other end of that spectrum, they're living a good life and they're getting ahead. in
Absolutely.
in a world that they're comfortable in and like.
Exactly.
So
It's a very comfortable living for them at $8 an hour. Yep.
yes, and it's creating a middle class for the Philippines, because before there was just the wealthy and then poor. This whole VA thing where they work via technology is creating a middle class in the Philippines. Am I right about that, Brady?
No, you are right. And I think to kind of harp on that, for people who have that notion that, okay, I'm taking advantage of somebody to work for cheaper than what I would do it here in the States. Yes, you're exactly right. You're creating a middle class of people who are working virtually through technology, and it's great. The way our process works is you are going to tell us a budget, the clients tell us a budget, and we match it with what the VAs ask for hourly. So don't think you're taking advantage. You're going to give them exactly what they're asking for, whether that's $4 an hour, whether that's $12 an hour, whatever the case might be, what's comfortable with your budget. But you're exactly right. It's a great way to put it. You're creating a middle class of people, and you're dividing that gap between the poor or closing the gap between the poor and the rich. So
yeah. And I've been very happy with my people, very happy. As a matter of fact, they're kind of family now after 5 years.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I've got to take care of them. I got to keep them going.
Exactly.
All right, man. I appreciate you, Brady. Again, one last time, 1000houses.com/VA today. Get over there and start getting some help and stop doing this stuff that you're not supposed to do, or that you make way too much money to do.
Exactly.
You may have to slow down for a second, train somebody for a week or two or a month. But boy, once you get them knowing what they need to do, how I did it was I paid someone to train my VA, I gave him a gig. I want you to train him how to pull lists off the county courthouse. You know how to do it really good. I'm going to pay you $300. Have it spend a day with him, show him how to do it. I didn't even spend time training them. So
there's always ways to delegate something. So, I mean, it's just being creative about what do you not want to do? What's not worth your time. And again, it comes back to the hourly rate. Can you spend less than what you can make in this time commitment that you're going to put to this task? So.
All right. Thank you guys for stopping by to get you some Brady Morgan. This is Mitch Stephen with the 1000houses.com podcast. And thank you to Livecom for sponsoring this episode, LIVECOMM.com. If you haven't seen Livecom, go there, watch the video on the homepage, and learn how I'm using Livecom to have 4 days on the market in my houses with no signs. I have no signs, not even one in the front yard. When I have a house for sale, it lasts 4 days. And also I used to only get 10% down, and now I'm averaging 15% down. Go watch that video. And it works for all kinds of businesses. And your VAs can learn how to work Livecom real easy for you and start making Livecom pay in all different directions in any kind of business. So check out livecom.com and tell me if your wheels don't start spinning. LIVECOMM.com. All right, we're out of here, Brady. Thank you much.
Thanks, Mitch.